Have a skeleton of fun in my indie game, the Calcium Crusader 64. Do you like retro-inspired games, cozy fantasy adventures? Do you like skeletons? Explore a strange fantasy world, meet quirky characters, defeat evil foes, and save the world from the Devil King before he plunges the world into darkness. This game is quite wholesome, by the way, I will let you know now. I've been developing this game for 1.5 years, and I can't wait for it to come out at some point within my lifetime. Explore dungeons, solve puzzles, and beat terrifying bosses. So if this game looks like something right up your alley, wishlist the Calcium Crusader now. The Calcium Crusader regains health with milk, by the way. Other milks are available. Also, you do not have to play the previous 63 games in this series to understand what's going on. That's just a little joke.
Boom shakalaka! Hey everybody, it's Tim Kitzer here, the voice of some of your favorite video games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And I'm here to talk to you about Old School Gamer Magazine. It's the magazine for retro gaming, and it's exploding. Kaboom! Print issues come out every other month, and if you want to go green, digital options are available. Visit oldschoolgamer.com and subscribe now. That's oldschoolgamer.com. Boom shakalaka!
Video games have been part of our culture for more than half a century. They've entertained us, brought us together, and inspired generations of players and creators. For many of us, games have also had a profound and positive impact on our lives. But as technology changes, parts of gaming history risk becoming difficult to access or disappearing altogether. Embracer Games Archive was founded in Karlstad, Sweden in 2021. Our ambition is to preserve physical games from around the world, together with the hardware and accessories needed to experience them. Today, the archive holds more than 100,000 items, including several complete collections.
Today we have all the games in the archive in our database, and we also have everything sorted out. So here, for example, we have all the Nintendo games, and here we have all the Amiga games, and so on.
Bringing so much gaming history together creates unique opportunities to explore, understand, and learn from the past. The archive is a resource for game developers, researchers, authors, museums, exhibitions, and journalists. Anyone who needs access to gaming history. Preservation is about more than placing games on shelves. Every item is documented, carefully cleaned, and stored. We also maintain and repair hardware so that games can be experienced as they were originally intended. Our team is working to create the best and most useful archive possible. But preserving gaming history is an ongoing journey, and there will always be more to discover and protect. The archive continues to grow through acquisitions and generous donations from individuals, collectors, game studios, and other organizations. Every contribution can help fill a gap in gaming history. Together, we can ensure that the games, technology, and stories that shaped generations remain accessible and continue to inform, inspire, and be experienced far into the future. Embracer Games Archive, for the love of games.
During the World Cup, I've been gripped by what has been a number of football dramas, but I've also been interacting and getting feedback from players of my game.
Kevin Toms, football star manager.
Many people enjoy the game and appreciate its roots as a founding football management game.
I recently did a major update, improving it visually with a nice new UI with nice buttons and a range of colour schemes and themes you can select to suit your team.
You can also play Brazilian Portuguese.
So have fun with all the changes. I see it as a good improvement. And it's great to be part of the Pixel Arcadia showcase. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks to all of you for supporting me in the game over these years. It means a lot to me. Take care and enjoy the show.
Peggy 16.
Retro Gamer magazine is the world's leading authoritative voice on retro gaming. For the last 22 years, it has gone behind the scenes of many of the greatest games of all time. From Space Invaders, Pac-Man and Outrun to Shenmue, Super Mario Kart and Sonic the Hedgehog, revealing how these classic games were made. Retro Gamer has spoken to numerous video game luminaries over the last 2 decades. From pioneering visionaries like Shigeru Miyamoto and Hideo Kojima, to legendary figures such as Peter Molyneux and Mark Mark Cerny. The magazine continues to find new stories to share with its readers, many of which often can't be found anywhere else. Many of the games that you'll see today will be reviewed in Retro Gamer magazine over the coming months, alongside exclusive interviews with the people making them. Subscribe now so you don't miss them.
Pixel Arcadia. I'm Julian, CEO of Comey Games.
And I'm Jason, Creative Director at Comey Games.
As fans of classic and retro games, we are incredibly excited to tell you more about our upcoming game, Gemini X.
Gemini X is a Metroidvania platforming shooter with precise movement mechanics and an arsenal of versatile weaponry.
You play as Rook, a brave security bot on the space colony Gemini, which has been attacked and besieged by a group of robot terrorists known as the Heretics.
The Heretics are a group of fanatical warrior robots that fight for the rights of robotkind and have taken the human population of Gemini hostage as they carry out their devious plans.
Rook will have to fight and traverse his way throughout Gemini colony by cleverly using the weapons and upgrades he obtains along the way.
By collecting intel and sneaking around, Rook will try to unravel the Heretics' plans and truly embody the man on the inside archetype. Foil their plans and drive them mad.
As a true passion project, Comey is working with fantastic collaborators such as Ian Flynn, writer of the Archie Comics Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog IDW comic runs, and Sean Bylam, composer of Densha Attack, Penny's Big Breakaway, Power Rangers Reader's Rewind, and many more games. We are aiming to deliver the highest quality experience of the 32-bit era in a modern retro package.
In addition, many members of our development team, including myself and our art director Steph, have a proven track record of Metroidvania games from the development of Guacamelee and Guacamelee 2. You can follow us for more information throughout development. Lots of information coming soon.
Thank you again to Pixel Arcadia for having us, and stay tuned to the showcase for more from Comey Games.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Pixel Arcadia, the showcase dedicated to the future of retro gaming. I'm Haz Dalal.
And I'm Dan Marr. Today we are delighted to take you through a whole host of world premieres and brand new trailers from across the retro gaming spectrum. Whether you're interested in long-awaited re-releases of retro treasures, future classics inspired by the pixel art and chiptunes of yesteryear, or full HD remakes, we've got a little bit of everything in our opening show.
So why Pixel Arcadia? Well, we believe that retro gaming demanded it. It's never been a more exciting time for this scene, and we wanted to celebrate that and look ahead to what's happening next.
Yeah, and it's also never been easier for players to discover retro games. From re-releases of all-time classics in physical and digital form, to brand new gaming hardware, or even dusting off your favourite console and realising it now qualifies as retro, there are so many touch points for getting involved in 2026.
Publishers and developers are digging deeper into their back catalogues. Game preservation has never been a hotter topic, and the homebrew scene of developers making games specifically for retro hardware is incredibly vibrant. Retro is no longer niche, it's a vital pillar of the modern games industry.
Yeah, and that's why we believe retro gaming deserves its own big night on the calendar. So seasoned collectors and newer converts alike are invited to look ahead with us to the future of retro. Before we get started though, Haz, just to set the scene and to understand your retro bona fides, what's the first game you remember playing?
Oof, I think it's gotta be Operation Wolf, my cousin's Commodore 64, and you know what? That cassette took forever to load up.
Cassettes did take forever to load up. I was a Spectrum 48K owner myself. I think my first game was probably Horoscope Skiing, maybe Checkered Flag. Anyway, thank you to our sponsors at GOG and Clear River Games for making all of this happen today. We've got new reveals coming out of the goddamn walls over the next hour plus, so let's kick off our show with something that retro players have waited literally years for.
Our first world premiere marks the long-awaited remaster of a truly beloved Japanese action RPG. This game has never previously been released in North America. Coveted by Super Nintendo collectors and fans of the genre, it's coming soon to modern platforms for everyone around the world to discover, courtesy of Clear River Games.
Yes, indeed. Let's take a look.
The planet possessed two souls, an external face and an internal face. Light side and dark side.
In the world await your awakening.
Yes, the cult classic Quintet RPG Terranigma is back, and what an amazing reveal to kick off here on Pixel Arcadia.
Yep, Clear River Games have enlisted the assistance of original members of the creative team, ensuring a thoughtful update of this much-loved title. Composers Miyoko Kobayashi and Masanori Hikichi return to arrange select songs from the game's soundtrack, and celebrated artist Kamui Fujiwara will be providing new key art and in-game designs.
Attendees of Gamescom 2026 in Cologne, Germany can check out this long-awaited remaster later this week.
Now, next up, we have a world premiere from one of the most exciting studios working in the contemporary retro space today. From Dotemu, developers of the excellent Windjammers 2, Streets of Rage 4 and other fan favourites, comes a fresh take on bomb-based multiplayer mayhem.
This next world premiere brings an old NES favorite kicking and screaming into the modern day. If you've ever dabbled with the Nintendo Switch Online library, this series might be familiar to you.
With a visual style that combines the pixelated spirit of the original game with striking 3D backgrounds, this hack-and-slash adventure is just as fast and frantic as its predecessors. Gamescom 2026 attendees will be able to get their hands on Ninja Jajamaru Yokai Night Parade later this week.
Now for the return of a beloved 1993 arcade classic made by the masters at Irem, which is coming to consoles for the very first time. This is one of those games where its reputation has only grown in the years since its release, as the likes of Angry Video Game Nerd introduced it to new generations of players. Its pixel art still looks absolutely incredible all these years later.
Yeah, take a look at this first trailer, which reveals a very cool crossover with another retro gaming classic.
Clear River Games believes that games belong in your hands, whether we're talking about retro classics or great new titles, delivered digitally, physically, or as beautiful collector's editions. We're giving Pixel Arcadia viewers an exclusive discount code for their online store. Just head to shop.clearrivergames.com and use the code Arcadia to save 10% on your purchase.
Save on physical game releases like Marvel Maximum Collection, Truxton Extreme, R-Type Delta HD Boosted, Taito Milestones 4, Trails in the Sky First Chapter, and many more. Clear River Games' ever-expanding lineup has something for all the retro players out there, so dive in and take a look.
For this next game, how's this for a pitch? A pixelated isometric fighting game that takes its inspiration from 3D hack and slash classics like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. It's a perfect blend of modern and retro.
Yep, sold, take my money. The main character also has a chicken sidekick if you weren't already sold. This is the combo heavy Knuckle Paradise.
Drawing from the very particular aesthetic of the Game Boy Color era, Petal Runner is an open-world RPG set in the coastal metropolis of Sapphire Valley. In this coming-of-age adventure, you play as a courier traveling a solarpunk world by bike.
For anyone familiar with the games that visually inspired it, this warm and wonderful trailer will no doubt set off some nostalgic fireworks. Now we've seen a game with a distinct Game Boy Color aesthetic, how about something with an art style that you could imagine seeing on a Game Boy Advance?
In the Metroidvania-style game Agalos 2, you explore two opposing light and dark realms across two giant overlapping maps with angelic and demonic combat styles to match. Check out a new trailer for this challenging action platformer game, which releases imminently on August 27th. This next game is a retro-inspired, bubble-based precision platformer that enables players to build and share their own levels with the community.
If you've ever spent hours in Mario Maker crafting your Miyamoto-worthy masterpiece, this could be the game for you. There's a very special place in our hearts for Made for Retro games. That's why we've created a space for these projects in Pixel Arcadia. In the last year, shmups like Earthian and ZPF dazzled players and showed how developers can keep pushing decades-old hardware way past what seemed to be their limits. Homebrew communities are keeping these consoles vibrant and exciting decades later.
What these next few trailers have in common is that all the games are made or tailored specifically for retro hardware, and they're all either available or soon to release on modern platforms too. First up, we've got 3 trailers from Mega Cat Studios, who are veterans of bringing their games to both older consoles and newer hardware. That's right, Echoes of the Undead is launching on October 15th. I cannot wait to get my hands on that.
No, me neither. Next up, we have 2 games from Made for Retro specialists Full Set. Overserved is a competitive party game for up to 8 players, drawing influence from the Bomberman games that exploded in the 16-bit era.
Project Neon, meanwhile, is no doubt familiar to many of our viewers. Originally released on Neo Geo in 2024, this shoot-'em-up will soon be available on modern formats for the first time.
Yep, check out these new trailers for each game, which are coming to almost every platform you can think of, including the N64, Saturn, and Dreamcast. Okay, now it's competition time. Courtesy of Clear River Games, we've got a copy of Truxton Extreme Thunder Master Edition and a matching Pipiru plushie to give away. Truxton Extreme marks the return of the legendary 1988 arcade shoot-'em-up, fully rendered in 3D while preserving the series' iconic design by creator Masahiro Yuge. Enjoy story, arcade, and co-op team modes in this ultimate edition of the Toa Plan Classic.
Truxton Extreme just launched back on July 30th, so this is a super recent release you can add to your collection.
To find out how to enter, just follow the QR code on screen. This next game has been delighting Evercade and Amiga players for a little while now. Roguecraft EX is an isometric roguelike game of Lovecraftian procedurally generated dungeon crawling.
It's now just a couple of weeks from launch on modern platforms, and we've got an updated look at the game. Finally, on the Made for Retro front, we've got a throwback fighting game that's soon releasing on Mega Drive and Genesis for the first time. Here's Pocket Bravery MD.
Sinta e sofra, que te anunciarás. Véu da morte. Marcha da morte. Frio. Sancho, Highlander!
The novelty of buying a new Mega Drive game will never wear off on me.
Yeah, what a great selection of made-for-retro releases. Now, last year marked the return of 90s powerhouse publisher Acclaim, this time with a focus on brand new indie games.
Today, we're delighted to present a selection of titles from their new lineup. If you're a fan of PS2-era snowboarding classics, you'll definitely want to see what's coming up next.
You are ready or not, we are about to go. Literally no one can keep up with me.
These next few trailers are all a little bit darker and nastier, in a good way.
I mean, how best to explain the game you're about to see? You control a rolling monster made of pulsing flesh, eating and destroying everything in its path as it continues expanding, all while battling the military.
Think evil Katamari through a B-movie lens.
This is the aptly named Roller, which will be available on PC very soon.
Here's a puzzle game with a grim twist. In Hazard Pay, you play a cleaner who's complicit in the cover-up of a terrible disaster. You might notice echoes of games that challenge players' morality, like Papers, Please.
Here's developer Smitna Studio to explain how this very dark subject matter and the game's traditional block-pushing puzzle design fit together.
I'm Aaron, the game developer at Smitna Studio, and this is Hazard Pay. You are the cleaner tasked with the unfortunate job of making sure that this disaster never sees the light of day. Your employer, IPT, needs you to take care of this discreetly. They will be watching. Each level is a compact, handcrafted block-pushing puzzle to remove any evidence of wrongdoing. Walking through blood will leave a trail of footprints. Vats of acid are a convenient way of destroying undesirable contents. There's bone-shattering doors, employees who know too much, horrific wiring puzzles with everyone's favourite electrical conductor, and more to discover. While playing Hazard Pay, you're encouraged to experiment. Levels can be quickly reset, and you can also rewind time as you see fit. Finding the most efficient route is also a challenging mission with the built-in step counter and leaderboards. As you venture deeper into the facility, the atrocities you are erasing will start to form a picture. Will you continue to play your part in this authoritarian cover-up? If you enjoy a satisfying puzzle game drenched in a bleak dystopian atmosphere, then Hazard Pay is for you. Work starts September 10th, coming to Steam, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 5.
This next reveal brings a classic psychological horror-themed PC adventure to console for the first time.
Featuring a whole host of upgrades in a new edition, let's rewind the clock to 1998 for the return of point-and-click fright fest Sanitarium.
Oh, God, what's happening?
I will make your volcano for your god!
Sanitarium. You're not gonna believe it. I found the answer.
Your delusions almost took the life from you this time.
Sanitarium.
Where am I?
I don't! Oh my god. The spring pig. Sanitarium.
Hey, you big dope!
Am I going mad?
Praise the Lord!
What's happening to me?
Innocent Ogden, and you only think of yourself. Seek the truth.
Sanitarium Enhanced is coming to PC storefronts as well as PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
Now it's time to celebrate arguably the biggest advocate for retro gaming on PC. GOG has worked tirelessly over the years to make classic PC games DRM-free and compatible with modern systems, collaborating with publishers to bring long-forgotten ports back from the dead.
They've even gone back and fixed ancient bugs and added controller support that wasn't there before for various releases. With its ever-expanding Good Old Games preservation program, the company stamps classic games that are guaranteed to run on modern PCs hassle-free and give players a great experience.
Here's more on the vital work that GOG is doing.
You don't need anyone's permission to play what you bought, or at least you shouldn't. But today, games can disappear. Servers shut down, licenses expire, platforms change. Games you paid for stop working. At GOG.com, every game comes with an offline installer that you can download, back up, and play anytime without internet, without permission needed. Because buying a game should mean owning it. Our preservation program already preserves over 300 classic games. Visit GOG.com and rediscover the classics you love. GOG.com. Make games live forever.
Next up, Sneg Games has been making a name for itself as a boutique publisher that brings PC gaming gems back to modern players. Recently, they've revived Warhammer classics like Fire Warrior and Dark Omen on PC storefronts.
Later this year, they're bringing a whole host of PC cult hits back in a similar fashion, including games that players have been clamoring to see again for years.
Yep, here's a rundown of their exciting slate.
Hey everyone, Artem from Sneg here. We bring classic games back for the fans who love them and for everyone who missed them the first time. You've just seen Theocracy and the Extatica series. Theocracy is a lost early 2000 blend of RTS, city building, and grand strategy, out later this year. Extatica and Extatica 2, the cold horror adventures, return on October 26th. More coming this year. Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Myth-Drannor, the D&D CRPG with quality of life improvements, Dark Earth, the 1997 French cinematic classic, Warlords 4, Heroes of Ethereal, where turn-based conquest meets hero building, and Soldiers at War, squad-based World War II tactics. If any of these sound like your kind of thing, add them to your wishlist. It genuinely helps. Thanks for watching.
Extatica 1 and 2, Theocracy, Warlord 4, Dark Earth, Soldiers at War, Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Myth-Drannor, and Temple of Elemental Evil are all coming to Steam and GOG later this year.
Now we've got a few games for you with more of a side-scrolling flavour. In the Transylvania adventure of Simon Quest, Dracula has already been slain by your vampire hunting rival. In this affectionate parody of 8-bit NES games that may or may not have Vania in the title, your job is to bring Dracula back to life, then kill him all over again.
Here's a new trailer. Cooperative action platformer Exo Brave draws heavily on influences from 80s and 90s pop culture, including Tokusatsu series.
In this new trailer, you'll get a deeper look at the game's vast array of power-ups and visually striking boss battles.
In 16-bit style run-and-gun shooter Project Sentinel, you play a cybernetic, anthropomorphized lion cop, bringing order to the dystopian metropolis of Storm City.
You don't just shoot perps in this one, you can make criminals surrender by roaring at them and placing them under arrest. You will even be tasked with rescuing civilians too. Everyone else is probably getting gunned down though. Find out more in this trailer.
Inspired by the early 90s animated show of the same name, itself loosely based on the Troma Toxic Avenger movie, Toxic Crusaders is a retro-themed beat-em-up for up to 4 players that serves as a sequel to the original series.
This game is set to continue what's been a terrific few years for this particular retro genre, and fans of the Tromaverse will find plenty of deep-cut references to enjoy in this one.
Yep, and you get to hit enemies with a sentient mob. What could be better?
End of the line, Toxic Crusaders! The tables have turned!
Come on, team! It's cleanup time! Are you ready, Mop?
Mr. Crusader coming through!
Coming in hot! Hey, wait!
Here I come!
The name's Junkyard! Bonsai dudes!
This next game compiles 10 Commodore 64 classics from publisher Cosmi, including games from highly respected designer Paul Norman, like Forbidden Forest and Aztec Challenge.
But it also comes with an all-new version of Forbidden Forest, featuring lovely medieval-style art as well as a host of extras.
Take a look at the newly retitled Cosmi, Forbidden Forest and Beyond.
Up next is a game from the father and son team of Rob and Andrew Hewson. British players of the 1980s will no doubt be familiar with the Hewson name and the legendary publisher Hewson Consultants. That's worth highlighting for what you're about to see here.
Hyper Sentinel Fusion is an arcade shooter that borrows elements from some of the retro games Hewson is associated with, like Paradroid and Uridium, while roguelike and extraction elements give it a modern feel.
Fight your way into alien megastructures, then steal what you can before everything explodes. Spend your loot on upgrades, then do it all over again. Here's a fresh look at the game.
Pilot your Sentinel, child. To land, you must first shatter our enemy's defenses. Deploy your hyperdroid into the bowels of their installation. Steal what they have stolen and outrun the chaos you have wrought. Bring me the bounty. I shall reward you with upgrades, with weaponry, with marvels. And when you fall, and you will fall, child, my Huxley flings your soul across dimensions to start the fight again! Valhalla made real! Strike at every dreadnought, every system, every world the alienoids dare touch! You're humanity's last hope! God must long for the day I die, that he might at last converse with an equal.
Back in 2021, a resurgent Microprose brought back one of the best 80s computer games with a completely new sequel for PC.
Now, players on console will get to experience it too. Combining real-time strategy and more granular control of individual units, this is Carrier Command 2.
Combining Metroidvania-style gameplay with a visually spectacular 2D take on cosmic horror, this next trailer is a treat for the eyes.
Take a deep dive into the gorgeously animated Silent Planet, Elegy of a Dying World.
Fear this.
Should the air meddle with the thirsting of the unhallowed ones, the empires shall quake beneath her fury and bathe in the blood of the virtuous, until the cycle withers in the throes of Nile. In a world consumed by depravity, survival demands finesse. Master the art of war. Through precise timing, Apronic can deflect her foes' attacks, building rigor with each parry. Hold your ground, maintain your resolve, and unleash divine punishment. The remnants of lost civilizations still hold power. Discover a variety of armors, each with unique attributes, abilities, and weaknesses. Your choice will define how you fare. Through battle, Apronic gains experience, earning genetic upgrade tokens that unlock her dormant potential. Across a world consumed by decay, uncover forgotten paths, lost chambers, and ancient secrets. Bloodthirst begets wrath, and wrath begets torment.
Set on a doomed submarine in the 70s, Heavy Metal Death Can borrows from the fixed camera perspective survival horror games that put the genre on the map during the original PlayStation generation.
Your crewmates have been possessed, and now you've got to stay alive with dwindling supplies at your disposal. It's your classic horror setup.
The game was released on PC in May, but we have a new trailer for you with a very special announcement.
Now here's a game that'll test your reflexes. Cathedral Crow's Curse is a sprawling adventure where you'll constantly parry and dodge your way through enemy encounters, just to stay alive.
The best part is, once you've seen the trailer, you can go and play the demo for this one right now. Alright, how about another world premiere? Inspired by the NES versions of classic adventures like Shadowgate, Deja Vu, and Uninvited, 2018's Infested was a point-and-click game about surviving on a ship using scant resources and by exploring the environment around you.
Now we're delighted to give you the first look at its much-anticipated 16-bit remake, Infested DX.
You survived the last encounter, but so did they. You must stop the infestation from consuming the world in Infested DX. Keep your wits about you as you search a deserted starship. Beware, in space, there are endless ways to die. Search every room, arm yourself with knowledge and weaponry. Can you survive against this abominable onslaught? Exterminate, or be exterminated. Infested DX.
The next game from the creators of indie favourite Umurangi Generation needs to be seen to be believed.
With a PS2 or perhaps even PS3-like aesthetic, you've never quite seen the work of H.P. Lovecraft interpreted like this before.
This roguelike is a dark and beautiful retro-style action game that generally looks like it crawled out of your nightmares.
Dungeon Lurker is clearly more than just a retro pastiche with brutal combat, based on some of the intriguing narrative clues in this new trailer. See if you can figure out what the sinister secret of this game is. Roguelikes and side-scrolling games are a match made in heaven, as this next trailer illustrates perfectly.
This is Mad King Redemption, which features incredible 2.5D art and character designs straight out of an 80s toy catalog.
And now for a huge world exclusive. Developed by Bitmap Bureau, here's an extended look at the much anticipated side-scrolling beat-em-up He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction, which is coming soon to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and Steam.
You're about to see the game's first level in action with developer commentary. This game is a love letter to a beloved franchise, full of fun cameos and Easter eggs, and it's fully playable in co-op.
Welcome to an extended look at the first level of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction. Working closely with Mattel, Bitmap Bureau has crafted an authentic brawler that serves as a love letter to Masters of the Universe fans worldwide. From large, hand-drawn sprites and fluid animations to richly detailed backgrounds, every frame is packed with nostalgic details and hidden Easter eggs. Players can play solo or with a friend in local couch co-op, with 3 heroes playable from the start: He-Man, Teela and Man-at-Arms, with a 4th, She-Ra, the Princess of Power, unlockable later in the game. Each of these characters have their own strengths and abilities and feature unique movesets. Learning when, where, and how to execute these abilities will be crucial to defeating Skeletor's forces. While we're showcasing the opening stage, the Palace of Eternos, the full game spans 13 distinct stages, each with unique hazards to avoid and enemies to face. You'll encounter classic foes like Evil Lyn, Beastman and Trapjaw, alongside deep-cut characters only hardcore fans may recognise. To keep things spoiler-free, let's jump straight to our first end-of-stage boss, Trapjaw. Each boss will have their own varied set of moves and attack patterns that require learning and precise timing to counter, so don't forget to use your block button. Now Trapjaw may be down, but something tells me we haven't seen the last of him. Thank you for joining us for this exclusive preview. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction launches in early 2027.
As someone who still counts Castle Grayskull as one of their greatest Christmas presents ever, I may just have wishlisted that while the trailer was playing.
Our final reveal today is a doozy. This is a true love letter to fans of a beloved retro series.
Marking the return of Commodore as a publisher, you might say it's the perfect organism.
Hello, Perry Fractic here, Chief Joystick Wrangler and CEO of Commodore. Speaking of joysticks, it's been a very busy August for Commodore. It's only been a few weeks since we launched this, the brand new classic 9-pin TAC2 joystick. And now we're pleased to present a collection of some of the best games from the Commodore Amiga era coming to modern platforms for the first time. Yep, it's time for a whole new generation to experience the pleasures of blasting through alien-infested space station corridors with a trusty plasma rifle, or the panic of racing against the self-destruct timer as you try to make your way to the escape shuttle. Can't remember if I brought my cat on board or not.
There's nowhere to run, and there's nowhere to hide. It wants to get out. This monster inside is crawling around. I feel it alive. It's pain in my chest. Inside man.
That's right, Alien Breed is back with a comprehensive package of 6 games to mark the series' 35th anniversary.
Commodore, Team 17 and Antstream have all partnered to make this happen. With tons of quality of life improvements to help players enjoy the games on modern platforms, online multiplayer, as well as behind the scenes content that fans will love, you'll be able to get your hands on this collection next month.
And that brings us to the end of the first edition of Pixel Arcadia. Thank you so much for tuning in to Retro's biggest night of the year. For more information on all of today's announcements, follow us on social media and Steam using the links in the description below.
Yep, thanks again to our headline sponsors GOG and Clear River Games, as well as our feature sponsors Retro Gamer, Beyond the Pixels and Old School Gamer Magazine.
Stay tuned for more on the reveals you saw today in the after show with DF Retro, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
So that was Pixel Arcadia. We saw a lot of games today, and by the way, I'm John Lindemann from Digital Foundry and also DF Retro. And I'm joined today to talk about this show after the fact with the rest of the DF Retro Super Show, which is our retro-oriented podcast. So we've got all the other guys here, including the man himself, Corey Carlson.
Hey, happy to be here.
We've got Dark Mark Triforce Duddleson.
Yeah, I had the Steam app open on my phone the whole time and was wishlisting a bunch of games there for sure.
And the Squeegeon Norwegian himself, Audie.
Hello, everybody. I'm here too.
Yes. So, yeah, we were invited on to talk about this show after checking it out. So thank you for joining us here. If you're watching the after show, it was pretty good, I gotta say. When you look at the list beforehand, it doesn't really, have the same impact as when you actually see it properly presented and see what a lot of the games were. There's a lot of cool stuff here. So we're going to kind of go down through the list of things that were shown. Not everything, but a lot of the things that were shown.
Yeah, the first thing they showed was like a 20-minute countdown.
That's true. And I have to say the countdown,
pretty good.
It was all right. Like there was pixels, so I guess that's like Pixel Arcadia, but then
Chunky ones though. You're not a big fan of chunky like C64 pixels, are you?
No, well, the way they did the chunky pixels gave it that sort of like it looks like low quality like chroma subsampled video. But we're getting off topic here. Once the show actually started, the first thing we got to see is Terranigma.
This is a megaton.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think so. It's
for
big,
I mean,
guess.
John
is
and
it world
Audie,
size?
John and Adi, you live in Europe, like, so it's like kind of like what a big deal. But
thanks for doxing me like 2 minutes into the show.
But yeah, I mean, this is, you know, kind of one of those long lost, highly desired Super Famicom action RPGs, right? And it was originally localized in English for PAL territories, but yeah, we've never gotten an official English NTSC version, and that's hugely exciting. I mean, what I have tried of this game before, I mean, I really love how the mechanics feel. So I think it was a really strong game to open the show with, I think.
Yes.
I agree. I'm a big fan of Quintet stuff. I mean, they've done ActRaiser, of course, and so many other games, including this. And I actually have played this original version, the Japanese version, and I loved this game. Mm-hmm. It's really unusual. Like, at first you just think it's like a normal action RPG kind of thing, but there's a lot more going on to it than I expected. And it's really cool that it's actually getting an official English release now in the rest of the world.
Yeah, I'm really happy that it is retaining the original graphics. It's not being completely remade, like our ActRaiser was. Not that ActRaiser was bad. It's just I think that there's a lot of stuff shoehorned into it that didn't need to be, and it didn't look that great. So I'm really glad that this is just retaining that same those same graphics and sound.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see what is in the full package. But I agree with you, Corey, because like that's always my thought when doing retro collections or like re-releases, which I've done quite a few of. It's just kind of, this is somewhat like, for someone, this is their first introduction to this game. It's always gonna be. So I'd like that they also get the introduction that we had. And I was lucky enough that I played this in Europe back in the day. So I think this is the best of the Quintet trilogy. I don't know if John agrees. I think you already... I don't know if anyone else on the panel has played through all of them.
I played through all of them, yeah.
Oh, you played through... Okay, so what's your opinion then?
Oh, I think this is great. It's probably the best one, but I hope that, you know, Illusion of Gaia and Soul Blazer will eventually come down the road if this is a success. But it seems like, you know, there's a lot of original creators involved in this, you know, doing some new artwork and stuff like that. That's
new
really
music
cool.
too, arranged music. That's I mean, if you're gonna do these things, I love when the game music composers come back.
I am curious.
They were also bold enough to present this with the CRT filter on, and I think they've done it well enough where it's like a soft enough effect where it didn't look distorted. But that's cool to see. Actually,
yeah,
it worked okay here.
Zoomed in a lot, you know, which helps prevent that from breaking down.
It probably looked better, right, on the direct render, but it did look okay. Yeah, but that's a comment I would probably have on a lot of these presentations in this show, is that like capture settings are a little bit off sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Nitpicky.
I'm definitely curious if this is going to use the original translation, though. If this is going to use the it released in the UK and it did have English on it, and I'm wondering if it's going to use that translation, or if it's going to be touched up a little bit, or just the same translation. Because for as quirky as it is, you know, it retains one, like that original English translation has one of my favorite lines in any game ever, which is when an NPC says, true happiness. I think that true happiness is being able to loaf without consequence. And that better be in there.
I mean, they're not wrong.
No. It's so true. And I feel like that is something that I've made my mantra for life.
Yeah. We should get, like, we need to start doing merchandise on the Super Show side. And I think that's the first t-shirt we have where the O in the loaf is your head, like just your bald head, substituting the O.
All right.
I'm making that.
The first game then, Terra Enigma, very cool. Happy that's happening. Mm-hmm. But after that, we started to get some stuff that I had no idea about, such as, so this one surprised me, something called Blaster Bug. Mm-hmm. Now, it's Bomberman.
Yeah, it is Bomberman. With lots of other like little tidbits of like other games, like environmental hazards.
Yeah, there's like these like auto-scrolling stages, kind of.
It's very dynamic for what it is. Yeah.
this reminds me, to me, this looks like they tried to make a sequel to Saturn Bomberman, basically.
Yeah.
Which was the most full-featured and interesting Bomberman game, I think, that was released. That had a lot of different stuff in it that was really cool. And this seems to be taking a page from that. So I have to admit it, I'm liking it. And weirdly enough, the bug theme kind of reminded me of the game Tempo on the 32X.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought it definitely...
Tempo fan.
I thought it definitely
Yes.
kind of had like a very Sega-like vibe.
It does, absolutely.
Yeah,
So that
Saturnish, yeah.
that looks awesome, I gotta say. So I'm really interested in checking that out. It looks like .emu is putting that one out.
Yeah.
I mean, they did pretty good with that Windjammers 2 game they put out. Yeah, so I do have faith in that this is going to be at least very fun to play.
And it looks like they're having a little crossover with Absalom, which was one of my favorite games of last year.
Oh, dude, that was
maybe
so good.
Basis Loaded will join sometime too.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Maybe so. All right, then there was a Ninja Jaja Maru Yokai Night Parade, and I don't know what to make of this. Like, it's very strange. Like, I like kind of like the music was awesome.
I mean, Ninja Jajamaru is, classic 8-bit
It's
stuff,
very,
but
it's very Japanese. It's very leisurely. So,
I mean, it looked
kind of game.
kind of. I couldn't quite tell what it was. Is it like a Survivors, like a Vampire Survivors, a Survivathon, or whatever you call it?
It was the trailer was very chaotic.
Yeah, so I wasn't quite sure what it is.
Yeah, it looked fun. At least that I can say that, but like. I am not a little bit unsure as well, but Ninja Jajamaru has kind of... I mean, so some of them got released back in the day, but lately, in the last couple of years, it's kind of come back. Much like a lot of the other Jalico stuff. They kind of put that back in the market, and like, because I know that like some of the Famicom games and Game Boy got translated for the first time and released. And then, and then now we have this... And I mean, I just love seeing these old, especially Jalico is like one of those companies that I just always really liked, but I don't have any favorite games from them. And I think this is another one for that list where it's just like, I really like that game. It's not my favorite.
Well, you don't like the Famicom version of Maniac Mansion?
I have that. And
that's
good. For people who don't know about it, it has completely different graphics and does not run on this convention. Any variation.
That's right. No, actually, my favorite Jalico game from back in the day that I used to play back then, probably Cisco Heat, which was that cool super scalar-esque racer through San Francisco. But yeah, they've done a lot of cool games over the years, and this is kind of their pseudo mascot, I guess. Yeah. But the games have always been they're interesting, shall we say, and this kind of seems to follow that theme. So I'm not sure what to make of it, but it's cool that it exists.
Well, it looks like a 7 out of 10 game, which back in the day was a good thing, right? And I like the fact that we're getting this variety back, where it's like, this seems like it's simple to pick up and play, and it won't consume every minute of your day. It's just like something that seems like just fun to experience.
The thing is, though, is Jalico also had another series, Moiro Pro Yaku.
Yeah.
Which was I guess called Bases Loaded in the West, and it was Jalico's baseball game. And the reason I mentioned that is because the next game they showed had a direct connection to it.
Yes,
and this is perhaps one of the most exciting announcements of the whole show for me. It was Ninja Baseball League Man, Bases Loaded. Now, Ninja Baseball Batman is like this wild IREM arcade game from way back in the day. I think it ran on the same arcade hardware as like In the Hunt and all that. But it's a gorgeous game. It really looks awesome. And it's a a side-scrolling brawler, but like, you're like ninja, like robot baseball.
You're a robot baseball guy with a baseball. I mean, when I first heard, it wasn't that many years ago I learned about the existence of this game, and I thought it was like a parody of like arcade games from back in the day, because it occupies the same space as like Ninja Golf for the Atari 7600 or 7800, where it's like wait, that actually came back in the day. That sounds like someone making fun of old games, right? But no, Ninja Baseball Batman is a real game. And to my knowledge, there's never been a home release, and I'm kind of really curious about what this is because, there's obviously kind of pixel art blended with like more modern game engine type stuff. So it kind of made me think of almost maybe not exactly the same style, but sort of like the Tingo Project revivals, which, those take the old Natsume games and kind of remakes them, but also kind of, it straddles this weird line of like remake, remaster, sequel, reimagining, reboot. Where it's like kind of the same game, but not, and reimagined. I kind of get the impression this game is maybe taking a similar approach, and yeah, this was definitely a highlight for me because I've always liked what I have played of Ninja Baseball Batman and always wanted, some kind of home version, whatever this is, whether this is a remake or a sequel or soft reboot or what.
The stages, from what I remember this is definitely not like emulated or anything, but because you can see it, like the background assets are kind of weird, and that's pretty much my main kind of feedback on the game itself so far, is that there's kind of like a very heavy distinction between the background art and the sprites. But like some of the stages I definitely recognize, so I think it's an interesting way of doing this, right? Because like, look at what SNK is doing with Art of Fighting 3, because they're adding like characters to that game now, and I don't know how that's being done. But this is like kind of remaking the game in a different engine to add more content.
It does have stages clearly from the original, but the artwork all appears new, or it's all new sprites, new background detail.
The sprites looks retouched though. Are they new? Like, I haven't played that original.
Maybe they might just be touched up and like filled with many. They're much more colorful now.
Yeah,
than the original. But
the animation frames, as far as I like, again, I'm drawing from like 15 years ago when I played last, but like, I wonder if like, what's the name of the guy who designed it? Because like, this was a weird project, right? This was kind of designed by Americans for IREM.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. It was kind of like
it.
I think the story goes something that's like
bad translation, like
yeah. So I think it was dude at IREM, an American, but he designed it based on kind of like what the general popular stuff in the US was at the time. And so this is kind of like just a mix of everything that he saw in the newspapers and stuff, like Batman, obviously, and other things, Transformers. And so.
Was the arcade version 4 players? Because this is 4 players, it looks like, and I'm not sure if that arcade version
I think the arcade was just 2-player.
Okay.
Could be.
So this seems to be 4-player, expanded to widescreen. The backgrounds have more like 3D stuff going on, like sort of like line scrolling. They have like shadows in here that they've added, so it kind of gives it like a weird pseudo 3. It's not really 3D graphics at all, but like it has more perspective with shadows. So it's a bunch of weird stuff going on. I'm curious to know. They do have a crossover stage with the bases loaded. And it seems to be a city connection thing. I'm interested to see what it is.
This looks awesome. I mean, I gotta say, like, I love the fact that we're seeing these franchises, big and small, coming back.
Yeah, and these deep cuts.
I don't think the original was 4-player, but I do certainly recall that there were 3 characters on screen, though. So was it 3-player?
Was it 3-player? Maybe it was. The thing is, back then, like, there was often different variants of the arcade games, right? So maybe you have 2-player variants, 4-player variants, or more.
Yeah, it could be 4 players too. Yeah.
But moving on, though, the next game they showed, and we're not going to talk about every game in this detail, by the way. This is just some of the ones that kind of caught our attention, I think. But this one, called Knuckle Paradise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure what to think about the narration they were trying to do, but like the actual gameplay stuff, it's basically an isometric brawler with a lot of like destructibles.
Yeah.
And it's very unique looking because it's like, what if you took the kind of like character proportions and animations of like Flashback or Another World and then made like an isometric brawler out of it? That's what it looks like.
This is like made for me because I love martial arts.
Really cool too,
and I love isometric games. I love, the rotoscope cinematic action platformers. This was like mixing, like you said, like Flashback and Shadowrun on Super Nintendo with martial arts, and like the first thing that came to my head, that we mentioned this before, John. I have a huge fascination for the Bouncer, and that original Bouncer trailer had like them brawling in a bar with like all these objects breaking and stuff. Yeah, and this looks like kind of taking that concept into isometric avenue, and this is actually more interesting to me. So this is actually one of those games that I think goes in my kind of top 3 from this whole show, that I like. I am super excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took me by surprise, and the level of interactivity and detail in the scene, very, very impressive.
They gotta nail the music, though.
Yeah. But it looks very Fast and Furious, It's got a lot of like homages to fighting games, a lot of moves from different fighting games in there.
You said it was very Fast and Furious, and I didn't see any Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of hair on the head.
No Paul Walker.
No.
But I couldn't quite decide what to make of this one at first, because its style is honestly pretty unique, I think. Like, it doesn't feel like the way that it's drawing the sprites and the background objects and stuff like necessarily mimics any specific era of sprite art. And so I was like, I was kind of confused. I couldn't decide what to make of it. But, sprite art is its own style. It's a style unto itself now. And, when you do it really well, it can become its own thing and doesn't necessarily have to, evoke a specific era. And that's always like kind of a tough hump for me to get over sometimes.
It's about keyframes, though. Like keyframes, baby. Like strong keyframes.
Sure. But like what I'm saying is like, at first I'm a little confused, and then I'm like, wow, but whatever they're doing, they're executing it really well. So this is very interesting.
So, I mean, right away, I feel like these first few games kind of showcase like what the show was about, where it was like, we've got some classic stuff coming back. We got some new ideas. It's in the very retro style, and I like this idea of showing this stuff in its own show, which is why we kind of agreed to do this in the first place, because, these types of games do tend to get lost in, like, when you have like the Jeff Keighley show, for instance, right? Everybody's waiting for the big AAA stuff. And these types of games just don't stand out there. So it's like, it makes sense to have a separate thing for it. So I like what they're doing. And then it kind of continues. So like the next one they showed was Pedal Runner, which is one where I look at where I'm like unsure what to think of the gameplay.
Yeah.
But I do like the visual style. And so this is a game that I probably would not have necessarily paid attention to, but I'm at least curious about it now.
Yeah. It looks like a mix between Undertale, if it was on the Game Boy Color, and Pokemon.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And
exactly.
they called it a slice of life open world Game Boy Color style game, which, not exactly John's style, oftentimes not my style either, but there's a lot of people that love that kind of game, and the Game Boy Color stylings are very appealing there for sure.
They got to work on their faux CRT shader, though.
Yes,
it doesn't line
for sure.
up with the pixel grid properly.
Well, and it shouldn't really be
why
CRT.
Even a CRT,
yeah,
though? This is Game Boy. This should be like an LCD filter.
Exactly.
I don't know if anyone else made this connection. Maybe John, because he's the only one weird enough. But like, this made me immediately think when they were talking about, like, because the host of the show, whose name escapes me, they did a good job though. But they said something like, "Oh, you might like recognize some of the inspirations." And then like the whole thing started, and all I could think of was a game called Katobi Takuhai-kun on PC Engine, which I don't know if John even has played this, but it's basically you play as a delivery boy on a bike in a little Japanese town. It's a PC Engine game, and it's just like all these different like interactions. And I was like, I really need to start dating again, because I shouldn't be having these thoughts.
Yes. No, that's actually an interesting comparison. You're right. It just that freaking game, man. It's like Overhead Violent Paperboy.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't think it's ever been translated. But yeah, go check that out. That's one of the maybe that's one of the inspirations.
It's got a cool cover art, I'll say that much.
Oh, the cover. I have it over there somewhere.
It's real nice,
It's awesome. Yeah.
That was an interesting one. But then after that, so this is a game, I guess I've already played it, I have to say. In an early capacity, but it's predictably awesome. Egalos 2.
Oof. I love the first one, so I was excited about this one.
I bought the first one on cartridge because of your video.
Actually, okay, how about that?
I saw it. I love those. It's basically like Monster World kind of.
Right. But it feels like a Master System game. It has a visual style to the Master System, and I kind of made this up as I was watching the trailer here because I hadn't really seen this game in action, even though it's coming out in like a couple of weeks, and since the first game was Master System inspired. And this one is more like Game Boy Advance inspired, but like maybe it's more like a Game Gear Advance.
I could see that. Maybe. The hosts described it as a GBA. It's like a game that you could imagine on GBA. I think they were just trying to like seek from like the Game Boy Color style game to this game, but really like Wonder Boy Bobby up to this point, as far as I know, and I assume this is still the same developer unless it's been handed over to somewhere else. Wonder Boy Bobby has always like kind of excelled at making these very Master System aesthetic
the
games.
Music is still very PSG Master System, so I thought this was much more like a Master System Plus situation.
I would say this. We're just arguing over this stuff.
Like these fake systems that don't exist.
I think it looks more like a System 16 era. Like Sega arcade board from the late 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I could
2D arcade game,
but I could
more
see
so
this
than
being
the original.
But I could see this being a Mega Drive game as well. Especially one of the ones that was very much of the style of Monster World 3, Monster World 4, which uses a lot more kind of flat shading without a lot of the dithering that you see in a lot of Genesis games.
It looks cool, but I haven't played the first one, so I have to say I'm not.
No, it's the key is that it plays real.
Does
well.
It play well? Okay, because I was surprised to even see the 2 behind it, and I was actually gonna ask if that was kind of like the original to make it look like a kind of okay.
No, yeah. I mean, it's the first one's very much a Wonder Boy and Monsterland and Monster World style game with Master System style graphics, but this is like an advancement beyond like the Master System style. But I like Corey say what if there was a Game Gear Advance? Maybe it could look like this. Yeah.
That should be a real thing, Game Gear Advance. It made me think also a bit of like ActRacer 2, not so much in
with
like
the wings and stuff.
I think just the wings and the sword. Yeah, I think that's monsters.
With the wings, it actually plays like Gargoyle's Quest.
Okay, that's what I was kind of hoping for.
The mechanic is almost exactly like Gargoyle's Quest.
You guys are hyping me for this game. I mean, all these references are excellent.
So yes,
is the first one really worth playing? The first one is really good. You say?
Yeah. I loved it. I liked it enough to do everything that there was to do in it. I completed it.
I can't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I missed this. Yeah.
And the original definitely looks more Master System like, I would say. And the second looks more like an it really feels like 16-bit Sega arcade board to me because the color schemes versus the Mega Drive. But
cool.
Either way, cool stuff. From there though, we start to get into like all kinds of random stuff. Like there was this Bobbles game. I'm not sure what to say, but it was kind of like, what if you combine the Incredible Machine with Celeste?
Was comparison for the century
with some like Mario Maker-esque to it, like the
level
buildings.
So. And then
what was that World of Goo was what I was thinking of, but it's probably not similar.
That's a bit different than that because that's like straight puzzle solving, right?
Yeah. I think they were kind of trying to pitch this as kind of more of a Mario Maker-like thing.
And then after that, we got this interesting section, and I like this a lot, where they basically showed a bunch of games that are coming both to modern platforms, but also releasing on old hardware. And it's sort of like a specific section carved out just for these types of games.
This is
awesome. They showed
awesome.
quite a few, and a lot of them look really cool. Phantom Gears, one I've been following for years. I was on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, that was the one that jumped out to me. And this it was like almost like Pulse Man or Mega Man. Maybe,
I wrote down like in my notes. I said it kind of looks like Pulse Man.
Yeah, that's the vibe it gave me. The characters have this like real big head look, which like could go wrong, but somehow it like really worked for me.
Cool.
Like I really like the look of this one.
So I kickstarted this, and like it's been going on for a while, but they kept up with the people, and like there was recent updates kind of talking about how it was finishing, so I was excited to see it here. But it does still retain one of my pet peeves, and that's just the walk animation or the run animation is a little bit kind of the head is a bit stiff when they do it, and like there's something weird about how it animates, especially when they shoot at the same time.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's not perfect, but I'm still interested.
The game looks excellent.
Yeah, I was really interested. Audie just has an eye for this stuff because you're a game producer.
Such a successful one too.
And that one's coming to being primarily
That's
developed for
Genesis,
Mega Drive, right? But
yeah,
I think all of these are also coming to other platforms, like
Other
modern platforms. Yeah,
like one of the ones I really liked was called Project Neon, I guess, which is that was the vertical shooter, I believe.
Yes, and that one's on Neo Geo.
And Saturn, Dreamcast, and N64 as well.
Yeah.
And it looks freaking awesome though. Like it's really beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
I'm really like curious to see about that. I mean, there's been plenty of good shooters happening on the Neo Geo still, so.
What I thought was kind of funny is a lot of these games are coming to the Saturn, Dreamcast, and N64. A lot of the games in this segment.
I'm actually curious about some of that because like there's ways to defeat the copy protection, but it's not that simple. I didn't think.
Well, right. That was what I was thinking too.
So I'm a little confused by that.
Well, wasn't there I think a recent episode of GameSack covered this game that was like released on N64 cartridge, but it was a Game Boy Color game running a Game Boy Color emulator on N64. It's like, why?
It's like, yeah, that makes no sense. You're right. I mean, it's a neat idea if that's what you creatively want to do. It's just like but yeah, the Saturn thing is kind of weird because the other system we're mentioning have either new solutions like the Analog 3D or the Dreamcast, which is pretty straightforward. But Saturn, you kind of have to jump through some hoops if you're new to I really don't understand. But maybe someone has. I haven't followed the Saturn's, aftermarket scene, so maybe there is some sort of solution there.
They're probably just testing on something like the Saru and the Satiator and stuff like that, just different flash cards, because the Saru is perhaps a bit more accessible to people, so maybe that's like their main thrust for getting it on the system.
I know like Pixel Heart is doing some stuff for Saturn, so maybe
we got to look into this then and see what's up. There was another one that surprised me though. I never heard about this actually. Roguecraft DX. Which was an Amiga game. Apparently.
Yeah, I know about this a lot. So this is a Norwegian-developed Amiga game from Badger Punch, and as we record this on the very day, I met them yesterday in person for the very first time. So it was interesting to see it here. Despite the name, which I do think kind of like sounds generic, but it's pretty descriptive of what this is. The game is actually excellent. This is one of the best new aftermarket experiences on the Amiga, and they really like artistically have an incredible eye.
It looks so good.
So, yeah.
It looks good enough where you saw it and were like, you didn't actually believe that's what the Amiga graphics looked like.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, actually, like I played just a little bit of this on the Evercade. Which was how it was released physically. I'm not sure if there were other physical versions, but and that was a few months ago. Like in my head, as a filthy American, I just assume like all these like European microcomputer games like all look like C64 or something.
Or the ZX Spectrum.
Oh no.
Or the ZX, yes. Excuse me, ZX.
ZX. Where did we go wrong for you to have such a thing?
Well, that's just the image in my head, but no, like I don't have a lot of experience with Amiga, but like Roguecraft DX, like that does not sound immediately like an appealing thing for people who are maybe a little wary of roguelikes or Minecraft likes or crafting in games in general. But no, like I was genuinely surprised by this game as well. And then when I saw it again in this presentation, I was like, wait, did they Did they upgrade the graphics? Because I seriously forgot what it looked like, but I remember having a really good time. So like just
fantastic game.
Just because you think like, oh, this sounds like I don't want to be Crafton and Rogan and whatever. Like you should give this a look because it's shockingly well done.
Even if you're not into roguelikes, I think this is like just a universally great experience. It is so easy and fun to get into.
Yeah. It is extremely accessible just, from a first play. It's like, wow, I just got right into it. It's you're right. That's a good way to put this. It's surprisingly accessible.
They showed a fighting game called Project Bravery MD, which is apparently a Brazilian thing.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know about this?
I've heard about this, but I'm not really up to speed on it. So what's the deal with this?
No, I mean it's like an indie fighter. It came out a few years ago. It's not like back in the day kind of thing, but being that I have connections with the Brazilian game stuff, I do kind of keep up with what they're interested in. This was one that like has a pretty good kind of following. It's not the biggest, but it is pretty sizable in Brazil and outside. So it's interesting to see that they're actually kind of backporting it to I think they said Mega Drive, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
it is
Pocket
it is a
Bravery
modern
MD.
game.
It's straight up called, yeah.
I kind of thought the characters had like a almost Kunio-kun like proportions.
I mean, yes, that's definitely one of the main inspiration for it.
I thought it had like a Neo Geo Pocket look to the character.
Yeah, I mean
that was
that
the
too.
original. So this is definitely updated a bit from how I remember that game because, again, the way they capture the footage for this needs to be probably inspected and reported.
That's a problem that's a skill set that even Ubisoft lacks that skill set. So
a lot, yep.
Sure, but it's just, man, because a fighting game is all about like just the crispness.
Give us a call. We can help you indie
Like,
developers.
indeed.
I think they did because we're on this show.
They should have called us sooner.
So, yeah, call us earlier next time so we can capture your Brazilian indie fighting games. That's my specialty.
So that was a cool section then, and there was a couple other games as well shown there, but I like the idea of breaking it down by titles releasing on old hardware like that. So that's cool. And then we got to the next section, which was like the Acclaim section, which I guess, Acclaim's back. And I have to admit, when I see that logo, I do feel a tinge of nostalgia.
Where do you feel?
But not always the best nostalgia.
Point at it.
In places. Okay. No, so I associate it with the good times of their N64 stuff.
Turok.
Iguana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iguana Entertainment.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I like their
that's the image, like the iguana, like, being shot at with the arrows in Turok. Like that's the image of Acclaim I want to remember.
The Acclaim I want to remember appeared in the last of the games they showed, which was Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate, which had a fun look to it.
Like this Dreamcast looking snowboarding game.
It's like SSX meets Jet Grind Radio meets Yanya Cabalista City Skater.
Exactly. Featuring Gawu. No, the thing is though, is like I won't know until I play this. This is one of the snowboarding games are the type of thing where it's the feel of it is so important.
Yeah.
And that will make or break the game.
Yes.
And if they get that right, it could be awesome, but they could still mess it up. So I'll just say I like what they're doing with it visually, and I hope that they can actually nail the actual mechanics and feel part of it. That would be nice because we don't get a lot of games like this these days. And I love snowboarding games.
Yeah.
It's like the thing about me, if the inspiration here is SSX, which it is, like I do hope that they but everyone who watched this thinks SSX, so like just be real. But like I do hope that they focus on the racing aspect of it more so than just like the trickster part of it.
I agree, because tricks usually drag a game like this down for me, and I'd rather just race. I'd rather just try to be first. there can be some games that implement tricks in a way that's interesting to me, but But I'm a weirdo. That's, lots of trick systems do stuff for a lot of people, not necessarily me, but I'm with you on that.
It could be, deepens the gameplay.
The Japanese developed Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder.
It's pretty
good.
good.
All about the tricks, and I love it. It's like
it's pretty good.
Also in this section was that game Toss Down.
Oh. Yeah.
Which questionable whether it looks retro, but
yeah. I guess it's just because it's a claim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually does look cool. You're right.
That looks like it has a lot of potential.
It looks like an XBLA game to an
extent.
I'm really interested in this. Visually, I'm interested in it. And the music in the trailer was among the best of the show. I thought.
Yeah, that was good. Yep.
But yeah, this again, I just because of time, I really like when a game pops up that just looks like it's fun to play for 20 minutes and then I can go back to work or something. So this looked like a lot of fun. Just comes down to just how replayable it is.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I love the title of it.
No. Or the logo.
Yeah. But it could be placeholder.
I'm willing to give it a shot. Now, outside of the Acclaim stuff, then they went back to what I called in my notes Flesh Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rolla with an A.
Again, it's isometric, and they make it retro by making it pixelated looking, which I don't know if that's the best idea, but whatever.
I mean, it's
the actual.
This does look like the kind of thing where they again kind of make their own retro aesthetic, where it's like I can't figure out is this trying to be early PC 3D? Is this trying to be PS1 Saturn 3DO? I don't know, but they've just kind of made it into this lo-fi kind of grainy aesthetic that I do think works on its own, even if it's not aping a specific era.
You're right.
Sure.
I do like it. I agree. It's called Rolla, by the way.
Yeah.
It's coming out very soon.
It's like, it kind of made me think of, gosh, why am I drawing blank on the name? Because I played it last year. Carrion.
That's it.
Where you are like this, that was a 2D Metroidvania where you are it's like the Blob, except you are the Blob. And so this is
another mass of undulating flesh.
Yeah, this is the Blob has escaped containment and is, rampaging the city. Yeah, it's disgusting Katamari Damacy. And I'm way into this. I'm here for this. I really wanted to there's already a demo for this on Steam, and I wanted to give that a try. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet though.
Jumping ahead then, there's a run of 3 or so games where I feel like they were trying to do a PC section.
Yeah.
And they kind of kicked that off with a game that I actually owned back in the day and still do, Sanitarium. I'd almost forgotten about this, but this is that weird, it occupies a weird space where it's kind of like a point and click adventure game, but also kind of psychological horror.
Yeah.
And, some of the CGI stuff may be a little dated now, but I have to say, the background work and stuff that you showed here looks pretty cool. Still, it holds up better than I
it has
expected.
a pre-rendered look to it.
Yeah, it's I guess that was one of the things being a PC game, they were able to do the backgrounds in much higher resolution than on consoles at the time too. So, but I remember liking this and finding this very weird. So it's cool they're bringing it back.
I mean, I thought those high res pre-rendered backgrounds looked really, really interesting. So it does look like something I want to play. I like horror games. I like pre-rendered backgrounds. So as someone who missed almost all PC games in that era, I'm intrigued, and also intrigued by some of the ones that followed it.
Yeah, this is one of those PC games I really liked playing. I wasn't primarily a PC gamer, but this is one that I did actually play, so this is very special to me. I did also want to note that it seems like that what they're doing with the FMV cutscenes is that they're not just using AI to upscale it or anything. They are putting a CRT filter on it, and I think that's a much better solution to some of these games to have really pixelated, noisy rather, low res resolutions on those files.
Hopefully that's not just a trick for the trailer.
It could be. That's what I'm saying.
Do put it in the game. It looks good.
I just think that give us a call, and we'll sort out we'll sort out a filter that isn't so much just like thick black lines.
Yeah.
But this is actually kind of showing how the sausage is made. This is something that John and I have worked on in the past for certain productions where we tried to kind of capture old footage and working with like things like RetroTink and whatnot to get proper CRT shaders on footage. So it's cool that other people are thinking in this direction rather than trying to like, oh, we got to upscale everything. And it's like, no, there's other ways of presenting this right that makes it look better.
The other two things he showed, this one I was familiar with, but not really big on it necessarily. But it's interesting that they put it in here. Is Theocracy,
Yes.
which is actually a Y2K era strategy game on the PC. I think even Ubisoft published it, but it looks like they're bringing. I can't tell if they're just bringing it back. I thought it was already out on Steam, or if it's just like a enhanced version. Either way, there's that. But I think the real one that caught my eye.
It caught my eye too. I'd never seen this before.
I had a fascination with. I've played these, and I actually have these on my PC big box versions. Ecstatica.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Psygnosis. So these bad boys used spheroids or whatever you want to call it. Basically, like instead of polygons, it's like spheres.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like
Or
they're
like elongated spheres.
yeah, like people's butts are literally made up of like two spheres.
And there's
they called it ellipsoid graphics. That's what it is. It's ellipsoids.
So
I'm happy it's back.
Well, I'm actually looking at this footage again, and like, how are these environments drawn? Because they look like higher res than normal.
So
backgrounds. Is it like drawing them in somewhat in real time or before the frame or something?
No, from what I recall, all the backgrounds are pre-renders. But again, it was a PC game, so
they just look really high res.
Maybe they're actually enhanced for this. I don't know, but I know at least Ecstatica 2 for sure ran in 640 by 480, and it was very, very sharp.
This is just like such.
Just the backgrounds have like jaggies and stuff on it, right?
Yeah,
based on this footage.
they do,
So,
but
like,
they just as a lowly console gamer, these just look so high res for pre-rendered backgrounds for me. But man, these games look so weird. They look so weird, and I like.
Yep.
I'm really drawn to this style, and it's just this bizarre, like almost like medieval horror type thing. It's just,
it is that. I mean,
I'm deeply fascinated.
It's also, it's that same era of like figuring out 3D pre-rendered style, like action adventure-y games around the same time as Resident Evil, and Alone in the Dark was already out by this point, of course. But like this was like their attempt at it, trying a completely different approach, and by using ellipsoids, it gave the characters this very smooth but different look versus like hard polygons, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I never played this back in the day. Actually, I've never played these, but I remember seeing these in magazines, and like it's right up my alley. And then at the same time, I was seeing Highlander on Jaguar CD, and I really want to play that too. So I have like this is the holy trilogy for me of games where I need to play these games, and like I never got to back then. So now finally I have played Highlander, and I'm not better for it. But these two I do want to play, and this is an excellent opportunity to do it. So it's just too bad that balls killed this graphic style. I mean, I got the joke in. I did that joke before we started recording, and now I got it back.
You got it in there.
Balls 3D.
Balls in there.
But then they followed that up, going back to more console style, with some extremely beautiful games. Some of them we already knew about, but like the Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest, which that's a pretty funny name actually. But it's exactly what you might think. They're trying to do Castlevania 2.
Yeah.
Like hopefully more refined, but
I think so. I tested a little bit a while ago, and I didn't get so. The initial impression I had was like Castlevania when I looked at it, but when I played it, that was not the impression I really left with, like gameplay wise. So I think if I'm not mistaken, because this is a retroware game, but I think it's being done by Programmancer, who did Prison City.
I freaking love Prison City.
Yeah, same. And
man,
great guy. If it is him,
If
or
it's
else
him, this is
take
gonna be
take
brilliant.
take credit for it if it's not you, by the way. But like this played way better, because I was one of those people who saw this and was just like, well, what is this? Like, come on, man. And then when I played it, it was like, hey, it's pretty good, and it's not what I thought it was. So I do think that, like, if you're in that same boat as me right now, like, do try that when it comes out, because it's much better than I expected.
Well, I mean, I feel like retroware in general, I mean, yeah, they're working with various developers, but they aren't, to my knowledge, like retroware doesn't have like in-house development, but I feel like they are always seeking games, like they just have a good eye for like what is a really like authentic feeling retro style game that does something interesting and plays really well. Like they just, I feel like the sensibilities of the kinds of games retroware is sensing out are very aligned with my own. So whenever I see a retroware game, I like definitely pay attention, because usually they haven't steered me wrong.
But then we get to this next game, and I'm not sure what to make of the game.
Yeah.
As far as the gameplay, but it's called Exo Brave.
Oh yeah.
It looks awesome.
Absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it?
Lots of rotating sprite segments.
High-res
sprites. Every enemy. Yeah.
And there's sometimes like like 3D backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got this really like crazy look to it.
I can't really describe, like the character designs almost made me think of something that you might see on like a PC Engine game, except like blown up to like this like huge scale. No, I'm not saying they look like PC Engine sprites. I'm just saying like the character designs kind of make me think of like maybe an evolution of like, I don't know, Shockman or something like that. Like going in like a much more like serious direction.
I think what they're going for here is more like that Japanese PC kind of style. And I would say it reminds me of the work done by Poppy Works with stuff like Devo Engine.
Yeah, I did think about this too. It looks like a kind of European, it looks like a continuation of, if you look at like Turkinapedia, of like looking at what Japanese developers were doing and then trying to do it, yourself back on like the Amiga days and the PC, like you mentioned. This is what you come out with. It looked really good, but my god, that guitar sample on that trailer music is pretty harsh. It sounded like some SSH Dojin stuff. So this is not... it wasn't the best impression on the music side, which these games really need to nail that, but maybe it's an early example of it. Or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is what people like these days. I don't keep up with the youngins and their love for Tom Jones and the Beatles.
This show isn't for what people like these days. It's for what us olds like.
For us.
Exactly. And then there was Animal Cops, which is like Project
I call it anthropomorphic Hunt Down.
I thought it looked like Hunt Down. That's what I wrote on my notes too. It looks like Hunt Down. Like I even checked to see if it was the same developer, and it seems to not be.
What game are we talking about?
Project Sentinel.
Oh, the one with the that
Animal Cops.
With the animal cops in it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, you're talking. Okay, I was thinking like you're talking about the one with like the dog. The soldier thing.
Yes, exactly.
So yes, there's probably other words that other people will use to describe this game, but yes, it's the anthropomorphic police man shooter game.
Yeah.
It's it's got a subtitle of Zero Tolerance. I wonder if it's related to the Mega Drive.
The audience will have zero tolerance for this, but like this looks pretty fun, but I need to see more, because I also thought of.
I agree.
The thing is, like, we do bring up a lot of references when we talk about these games in this show, because obviously they're modern retro games, but when a game like this comes up and all I can think about is other games, but this doesn't stick, like I could remember this when you guys were talking about Animal Cop. So that's not the gameplay might be good and stuff, but I do think we need to see more that sticks a little bit more to my mind, because all I can remember now is like there was a lot of shadows in this game.
Yeah. It doesn't quite stick out as much as Hunt Down did.
I want to see that for
Hunt Down. It definitely looked like a step down from Hunt Down.
The one character
but,
does walk like RoboCop, though.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It still looks. It looks like it has high potential in its own way, for sure.
We all love RoboCop except for maybe Oliver. You know how he feels about 80s action movies.
He likes the remake.
Exactly. Speaking of like 80s and 90s, I guess the Toxic Crusaders are back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been in the works for a long time. I feel like this one got revealed a long time ago. I think it looks really good. It's just that this genre right now is just really, really crowded, and it's hard to like really stand out. And I think that they are using this extra development time to make sure that it plays well and it sticks out better. But it's just it's hard. It's a hard genre to stand out in right now.
Yeah.
Pixel
art's excellent.
Yeah, I will say, the pixel art is actually very, very good. It could have potential. I do have to nitpick a little bit with the fact that, and it's not a big deal, but I'm not a fan of when games like this make their HUD in high res HD. And then
I had the same note.
What's that?
I had the same note.
Yeah, it drives me nuts, dude. Like, why don't do that?
No.
Well, I can understand
it feels
why.
kind of cheap, yeah.
I mean, it's a valid creative choice.
Okay, we should move on, because this next thing, it's a bunch of Commodore 64 things.
Oh man!
So that all I can do is look at Audie and be like,
Tell us about all of these, about Forbidden Forest
this?
and beyond.
Yeah, so but this is Paul Norman, and this is important to me.
Explain.
Yeah, so Paul Norman was a singular developer, and he was not a traditional game designer and programmer. He kind of entered it from just a fascination and curiosity when games were new. But Forbidden Forest is legendary. He looks like a very nice man. Also.
Like, I just posted a picture of him for these guys to see. He's like 74.
Oh, he looks great.
He looks fantastic.
Wait, what?
Yes, man, what a legend!
We should all hope to look that good at 74.
We should all strive to be like Paul Norman.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely,
but we should also
living his
strive
best
to
life.
play his games. Forbidden Forest is extremely important, especially if you're like into horror games, because this was a very early example of a game that was created to scare you. This is before Alone in the Dark. It's before, it's after like Haunted House, which people always bring up from Atari. Was anyone scared by those two eyes just roaming around? But like, I can tell you from just personal experience that like playing Forbidden Forest gave me literal kind of just like, not nightmares as such, but I was scared in my bed playing it, because it was unsettling. The music and the spiders walking all crawly. So Paul Norman's work, I think, is kind of like the Jeff Minter kind of situation, where you might not be super familiar with him, but his games are extremely important, especially in defining kind of genres and emotional impact that games can have at a time where that wasn't being explored at all. It was all arcade experiences, whereas his and the sequel too, it's really interesting with a lot of parallax effects and stuff. So technically, because Paul Norman was someone that, like, as I said, he didn't come in as a traditional programmer or anything. So when he looked at the Commodore, when he looked at the hardware and stuff, he didn't come in with a preconceived notion of like, how do you do this and what do you do? He just figured out how to do it in whatever way. So you end up with a game that feels like nothing like anything else at the time, which also technically, is impressive from that fact. So a bit of natural talent as well. So it seems like they're going to put in museum stuff. I don't know if Paul did interviews. I hope so, because I always wanted to talk to him personally. And I know he's done a few in the last few years. So... but what was really interesting too is that they've done this reimagining with new overlay graphics, but they didn't do like, just like a gorgeous HD or anything. They went back to, I guess, like kind of what the mentality was for what this was supposed to be. So it's like all these wall scrolls and like you know, like if you look at this footage, it's just this. Yeah, again, it looks like nothing else you'd seen. I think this is a perfect kind of capture of that feeling that you got playing this. It doesn't go for like something that is truly modern. It goes for what something else entirely, just something artistically, expressive. So I think this is one that I'm really excited for.
So that's where your perspective comes in handy then, because yeah, that's completely something I was not familiar with, but knowing this, that does look actually pretty cool. That's interesting. Moving on though, there's a couple other little games. Hyper Sentinel Fusion. There was Carrier Command 2, which is Microprose, which I know Microprose has kind of made a return.
Yeah.
I also noticed in some of these trailers, I guess it was in the Hyper Fusion one, that they used some effects that we all know and love from Premiere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You start to when you've done these videos, so you see it, you know all those effects. You're like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, Command
Not there's
Carrier
anything
2
wrong with
though.
it, but using the tools available
absolutely
to them.
not. Exactly. So Microprose is doing their thing. That's interesting. Okay, Silent Planet. Now that one,
I've had this one on my wish list for a while actually.
Yeah, Silent Planet, Elegy of a Dying World.
Man, the pixel art in this is really
This
good.
is insane. Like obviously very inspired by like DS era Castlevania, and it's kind of the most authentic kind of representation of that I've seen, but with like very different kinds of character designs and enemy designs and world design. Like it's very much inspired by that, but it does its own thing with it, and it looks insanely good. Like this was a big highlight for me. I was unaware of this game previously.
And it looks kind of like a Team Ladybug game a little bit. The sprite work does.
You're right.
Yeah.
Which is purely a compliment. You know, I think the Team Ladybug does some of the best sprite work being like these days.
I will say, interestingly, the in-game graphics are all pixel art, but then all the menus are high res. And at first I was going to make that same complaint, but then it occurred to me, you think about games like, say, Chrono Cross or something, when you go to this menus and like super high res, and then the game is back to like, 240p. So like there is precedent for that kind of thing. And in fact, the Saturn version of Symphony of the Night has high res menus.
And it looks like they're trying to do a lot in the menus with, sort of customization.
So
like they need to convey a lot of information there. So.
Well, it's a different mode. You go into a kind of different section of the game, and it's one of the mismatch happens that triggers me.
Yeah.
Right, I agree. So this looks very, very good.
Looks very good, yeah.
The animation.
I love the key art. I love the key art for this.
There was a survival horror game, I guess, that they showed.
Heavy Metal Death Can, which is a great name.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil stuff with like it's 3D, but it's got fixed camera perspectives, and like the texture quality on a lot of the things kind of looks like the texture quality that would be in a pre-rendered background game. It's I'm intrigued. I believe this one has a demo as well, so I might have to check that out.
What I thought was interesting is that I'm not sure if the backgrounds are completely pre-rendered or not.
I don't think they are.
No,
if they're 3D, I love the way that they it has like the color banding in it, so it makes it look like they're pre-rendered.
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way to sell the look to it.
I mean, this genre has kind of come back in the last few years, and it's mostly like obviously indie driven, but there's been like Ground Zero and
Crow Country
Souls,
Signalis. It reminds me of
Signalis was real good.
I liked it a lot.
So, and it's interesting because that this type of survival horror, there's a lot of competition, so this needs to live up to some expectations. But I did like what I saw.
Another one though that they showed was something called Infested DX.
Yes.
And I hate the CRT filter. They did a bad job.
Oh yeah, that I wrote on my notes, worst game lie effect imaginable. Please do
Yeah.
better,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
I wrote this
horrendous.
as scan lines look awful in this trailer.
Yeah, but that
That's
said,
so
so I guess this is. I tried to find it. Apparently, this is like a 16-bit style remake of a game that was originally done in an NES style that was kind of a tribute to games like Shadowgate, Deja Vu,
Like a
and
Mac Venture.
Uninvited.
This is immediately like the Mac
Right.
Adventure
But
NES
where's
conversion.
I mean, they say as much.
They said it's like a remake of an NES style game. So I want to see the NES style one.
I mean, yeah, the DX part would suggest so. I haven't played the original, but
I couldn't find
this
an
is,
existing version of it.
This is being handled by a studio that I actually really like. It's at least it's being handled by someone that is part of Komi Studio, and Komi Studio, they're not like they're also doing that Gemini X game.
Oh yeah.
And that's another studio we were talking earlier about, like Retroware, and Komi Studio is another studio that like you have the whole vertical there of people that understand the core of what made these games and the gameplay so timeless, rather than just kind of trying to repeat it. They understand kind of the core of it and then can modernize it. They can take their own spin on it. So I'm really excited for this because I love like Deja Vu especially, but Shadowgate as well. So there's been, Shadowgate 2 came out a while ago. That's very similar to this, and that was excellent. If you haven't played that, do go on Steam and check out Shadowgate. I think they called it Beyond Shadowgate again. So, but the second Shadowgate is real good. The remake of Shadowgate, fantastic as well. But it's fun to see that someone else is kind of going for this again, because I really do enjoy this type of game. Again, though, my usual comment with this stuff is just like, if you've heard of music in those NES Mac Adventures, whew, that's some hot stuff. So like, you got to live up to that, because Masuno did like some of the most like mature and like incredible music that NES could ever produce. So you gotta work for that. Yeah, you gotta figure out that music.
The art in these is great, very authentic to what they're going for. It's just that scan line filter is bad. I'm sure without the scan line filter, it looks wonderful.
Yeah,
exactly. So please fix that. If you're watching,
give us a call. Give us a call.
Like, there's so many.
They're
ways
never
to do
calling
that.
us again.
Speaking of pretty okay scanline filter, though, another game that really caught my eye is Dungeon Lurker.
Yes,
which looks like a Guardian Heroes meets Light Crusader.
Yeah. Meets like little golden axe in there.
Like,
this game is a vibe of its own. Like it's like
simple
kind of
3D
like
backgrounds, beautiful 2D sprites.
Mm-hmm. And the scanline filter looks really good in this trailer.
Yeah, this looks great. From the scan lines to the sprite work, and just like this, I love the color shading of this. The kind of like slightly washed out, like looks slightly like a Saturn kind of era game.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is among, again, kind of top 3 for me in the show.
Very high up,
It
up the list as well.
But then there's a lot of weird stuff at the end of the trailer. It's like flash, like modern. There's like a CRT in there.
Right, like it feels like
a daycare center. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
like, it does intrigue me.
I feel like the if I remember right, the hosts were like, "Oh, can you like figure this out or something?" It feels like there's like some sort of like hidden trick or intent behind this trailer. Like is it? Are you just like you're addicted to playing this game and you're like looking at it through a CRT or something.
You're playing a character who's addicted to playing this game.
Yeah, a meta-ish thing. Yeah, like the text gets like scrambled and corrupted and stuff. Also, the key art for this like totally rules.
Weirdly enough, I described this to you, Tri, as like they decided to end this in the most British possible way, is what it felt like to be.
Yeah,
with an alien breed collection.
As an American, I was confused.
Is this where you all look at me again?
I am literally looking at you right now, Audie.
Okay.
I've learned about alien breed over the years, but it was definitely something that was not on my radar in the US.
Wow, I mean, you guys didn't even grow up with like Games Master, the TV show where people competed, because this was one of the games that they always played. But yeah, I mean, this from Amiga was among, like, this is always in the conversation of like exclusive Amiga games that you gotta check out, like 1 and 2. I think from an American standpoint, the conversation always then veers into like, didn't that have that weird Doom clone, which is also in here, because yes, at the very end of the Amiga's lifetime, Alien Breed was kind of updated to become a 3D kind of, you know, more like a Wolfenstein, I guess, but like
it's kind of the worst
Doom,
one though, I think.
Doom clone.
Really.
Yeah.
Stay
And
with
you
the
know,
times.
it's very pixelated. It's very it's
I-
very
cool.
it's descriptive of why the Amiga didn't cut the mustard at the end with Doom coming on the market. But this collection, I was obviously extremely excited to see, because Alien Breed is one of those games that, like, it's just timeless to me. It's one of those games that has great, refined gameplay. It's a little bit unbalanced in difficulty at times, but it is just an overhead, you know, run and gun, which it's fun to have it from that perspective rather than, like, say, Contra from the side. And you know, dubious license aside, with like it might look some similar to a certain movie franchise, but like it was just like the aesthetics and like the intensity of that game. I remember that when Alien Breed was out, I at some point I kind of veered into the Mega Drive instead, because the Amiga just started having less and less games, and I kept waiting for this to be ported to the Mega Drive, because I was certain, well, this is too good to stay on here, but I don't want to boot up this machine right now, and it never happened. So I'm very happy to see that, like, finally we can kind of get this out, and they said that they're updating it, and the footage from Alien Breed 3D seems absolutely to be running much smoother and much blockier.
There's two in there. There seems to be two different 3D games.
There are two different.
One of them looks significantly more advanced.
Yeah. They were super interesting, and they had all these games, great music from Björn Lin. They're all very much showcases of what made an Amiga exclusive a good Amiga exclusive. Something that you truly only could experience on the Amiga.
When I first saw this, before I realized it was a collection, I was like, wait, overhead run and gun, and then first person gameplay. Is this Jurassic Park? Like Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo? I'm like, I don't know about this.
Bring up an interesting comparison.
That Amiga stuff. Yeah, that's interesting.
No, I'm glad those are separate games in this, not some weird integration.
It makes me excited, though, to see if they can one day kind of do something more with Alien Breed. It's, you know, sky's the limit with that one. Space is the limit with that one.
What I'll say that appeals to me about this trailer, though, I have to admit, is that it seems like they're really including a lot of stuff here. They didn't just
6
put
games.
So it's 6 games, but they also specifically list, for instance, on Alien Breed 2, they have the AGA and the OCS version.
Yep.
For Alien Breed Tower Assault, it's the A1200 and CD32 versions. Alien Breed 3D, they even say plus demo 1 and 2. And including stuff like that, plus the online rush mode, the horde mode, the museum stuff, like it does make for a really complete package. And it seems to be created by Antstream. So they're actually doing like development work.
That was really surprising to me too, and I'm glad to see, like, because
they're branching
they've been
out.
putting up good service, but like, you know, when you bring, this is something that, again, from experience, is near and dear to me, in the sense that, like, when you bring these things back, you should strive for making them definitive, because, like, this is also preservation work, and so putting everything in there, both in its original presentation and whatever else you want to do is fine, by like that over the top kind of just like, this is your one chance to create like this museum piece, interactive museum piece. That's all. Like, don't go away from even some of the lesser sides of this history, because the history is history. So, and it gives context to, like, if you have 2 great games and one really bad, I think that including that really bad one gives even more context to why those two great ones were great. So
100%.
Something like this, perfect.
This is something, as we know very well from experience, that a lot of companies are just not willing to do.
They don't want to do it.
They won't do it. They will fight you every step of the way.
And I respect
think it's so
having
important.
it all in there. Yep.
So yeah, major respect to these guys for like going the extra mile with this and actually convincing the rights holders, I guess, to actually do it, because it's awesome. This makes the collection way better. So I'm now interested in checking this out. It's a little different, but as a big fan of Sega's Alien Syndrome, I get some of those vibes.
Right. I think like if you think of something, we brought Contra, and that's a comparison, and then Gauntlet I think is kind of another, where, you know, because when the Amiga came out, people associate the Amiga a lot with like Euro platformers and that kind of stuff, and you'll find that on the Amiga. There's no getting away from it. But the Amiga as a platform was very much angled to be an arcade at home, and so something like Alien Breed was an arcade game that was only possible. Only Amiga made it happen. It's the second time I've said that, but like it was true. And games like this, where I'm excited for these things to come back, because I always mention Commodore stuff, and these are the type of games. This Snoopy, that's the type of games from on the Commodore that I want people to play.
Snoopy. Should start making that a bonus game in everything you release.
That's right. Yes, I'll get the rights.
Absolutely. But guys, that was it. That was the whole show, and yeah, I have to say, going through that again, it was really good. There was a lot of good stuff in there.
I hope we get one next year.
I'm interested in.
Yeah, for real, because like this is a great place to bring these types of games together, and when you're like tuning in for this, you know what you're looking for. And you're kind of mentally prepared for it. You're not waiting for the big stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think?
This is the big stuff to us. But.
More and more is separating like the old school gamer mentality to what a lot of younger people are looking for today. So I think it makes sense to have a show for people whose game design sensibilities maybe align a little bit more with the old ways, right?
I think it's just magical that we live in a time now where we can have like over an hour's worth of presentation on modern retro stuff, and even like fully retro, because some of these games are coming out on cartridges, and it's like this isn't, and it just shows that the hunger and the demand for this just keeps growing. So in some ways, we really do live in great times. And this is one of those reasons.
Indeed. So, yeah, thanks everyone for coming together to record this. This was a lot of fun to talk about it. And thank you to everyone that watched it. So if you made it all the way to the end of this, well, what can I say? Go check out, of course, Digital Foundry, but specifically the DF Retro Super Show that we all record, I guess, twice a month. So we're up to episode 20, 21, I think is coming up.
21.
Wow. So
we still need to sort out that dance we need to do at the end credits though.
That will tantalize people that listen to the end.
I was in the Super Show contract.
Oh no, here we go. But yes, thanks again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Take care.